Okay, so I've done a rough outline and I really like the texture of this, but it's not very well defined on the edges of the petals, separating one petal from another, because the burr, the large carbide, is very large, and so it's hard to get a very distinct line of separation between the leaves, and I would like more definition, and I would like to refine some of the texturing on the petals as well and clean up the edges to make them look sharp and clean and not have areas like here that kind of dishes instead of comes to a point. So we're going to work on cleaning that up. So I'm going to go from the large number 10 carbide here to a much smaller number 2 diamond. You can see the difference there. There's quite a bit of difference, and it's going to help us get a lot tighter into the carving and add better, more distinct detail and separation between the petals. In refining the petal detail, I'm going to go around every edge, every perimeter of each petal, and I'm going to establish it more directly. I want to make sure it's crisp, clean. There's more of a straight up and down. This is a much smaller burr, which gives me the ability to tighten things up instead of having you look at the round burr and it's rounded, which means it leaves a rounded mark on the edges. With that large burr, I'm not able to completely define it. So I have to take it in this step to define it further. I go to a smaller diamond. I'm not using a carbide. The carbide is too aggressive at this point. I want to use a diamond because it's less aggressive. It gives me more tool control, and I'm able to detail it out without the risk of leaving large gouge marks or mistakes in the carving. So that's why I'm switching over to a diamond. I am also refining the texture. Again, I'm following the flow of the petal texture itself. I am maintaining that. I might go crossways to detail out and define the perimeter, but then I'm going to go back across that and make sure that I get all the detail rolling in the right direction. At this point, you're going to also notice that the petal is individual to the adjacent petals. Each petal is its own entity. And so when you're putting in the detail, you want to, if there's a petal laying on top of one of the lower ones you're working on, you have to pretend, in essence, that that petal on top is not there, and that flow, that grain of the petal comes out in its own specific direction. You're not following the direction of the petal that lies on top of it. You are creating the direction of the petal individually. Continue to go around just like we did when roughing in the detail. Go around it and establish each and every petal. At this point, it's really good idea to clean up the edges, to make sure that each petal is defined, make sure that it's coming out in the direction that you want, that you've actually carved each petal. At this point, you want to make sure that everything is carved. You'll notice throughout the carving process that I work in a very linear manner. I work on the petals first, then we'll work on the center, then we'll work on the leaves, and then we'll work on the background. I do everything in stages, and that for me helps me to maintain a flow, maintain the ability to keep going in the direction that I need to keep going, and it's a good workflow that works for me. Spend as much time as you need on this step. It's not a race. You don't have to hurry. There's no finish line that you have to get to before anyone else. Remember, carving is fun. Power carving is a whole lot of fun. You can use the power of the tool to do the carving instead of the power of your hands and the power of your arms to cut through the wood. And that's probably one of the greatest features about power carving that I truly enjoy. So have fun with it, enjoy the process, and take as much time as you need. Okay, so we're coming along here. Definition is getting established. Got the levels of everything established. Go in and tighten a few things up. Work on the center, work on the leaves, and then we're ready for the background. Coming along nicely.